What's going on, everyone? It's Rishi, aka Mr. R. Chata, here with the very first of many ShoeMentaries. Now, you're probably asking yourself, what the hell is a ShoeMentary? Basically, it's an idea I came up with earlier today at work. Where for those of you that follow me on Twitter and Facebook, you guys obviously know that I love my sneakers, love my kicks, and so I figured I'd start a little series here where I'd give you guys a chance to check out the stuff I own, and also kind of get a little history about them, check them out, and then also, hear about why they're important to me. Because it's hard to believe, but every pair of kicks I own has some story, some sort of memory related to them, and so I thought I'd share that with you guys. So for the first ShoeMentary, I thought I'd start it off with something real cool with the Air Jordan 11 Space Jams. So yeah, a little backstory behind these guys. Originally, they were first premiered in the 1996 movie, which is one of my childhood favorites, Space Jam. Jordan's rocking them when he's about to beat the Monstars towards the end of the movie. And so back in 96, I believe there was only like 5 or 6 pairs actually out. And then in 2000, Jordan decided to release them, do a full-on release, and then they did another release again in 2009. And these are the 2009 pair. Still trying to find my hands on a nice solid pair of the 2000 ones, but one could only wish, right? Anyways, without further ado, let's take a look at them. So I actually, removed the outside box, this sleeve-looking thing, because it's just a pain in the ass to pull off with one hand, but still very sturdy and nice looking nevertheless. I definitely was a big fan of the attention to detail that they put into the packaging. I can't necessarily say the same for the quality of the shoes. They are good quality, but I'll get into that later. Anyways, so they did, this whole design for the Space Jams, and then they continued it with the Cool Grays back in 2010, and then the Concords in 2011. So nice little plastic top. And then, going back to that whole attention to detail thing, I love the fact that they brought it out with the carbon fiber tissue paper. Now, it's getting a little busted, but it still looks great nevertheless. And then there you have the shoes. And before we actually get into those, the other thing I really liked was these swanky little shoe stuffers that they gave you with them. If I can ever get it out. But yeah, these nice little plastic ones. It's not that paper that breaks or, the tissue paper that disintegrates. So I was a big fan of that. Got to keep them crease-free, So these are the shoes. I mean, definitely one of the most iconic silhouettes from Jordan and Tinker Hatfield. That patent leather with the nylon is just amazing. And then I love the subtlety of the blue. It just pops out on this black. But it's, if you stood by itself, you didn't really notice it. But in this, it just really pops. And then, I mean, it's game over with that clear sole. Now, obviously, I've given these guys some wear, so pardon the yellowing. But, still, nevertheless, one of my favorite shoes, and definitely one of many sneakerheads' favorite shoes of all time. Now, going back to that quality thing I was mentioning earlier, so if you notice, there's like these little nubs where they did the injections. I think they were calling them like nipples and shit on the forums and everything, but I clipped them all off for the most part, or I tried my best to without damaging the shoes, just using like some nail clippers or even like some like precision X-Acto scissors. But yeah, that's the shoes in a nutshell. I mean, I remember when I first got them, when I first saw these when I was like a little kid, I kept on staring at this part right here, and I was like, what the hell does that even say? Like, I can't read it. And they're like, dude, you're an idiot. You need to look at it this way. Or yeah, it says Jumpman Jordan. So if you didn't know before, now you know. So, anyways, going back to just from these shoes, but talking about sneakers and my kind of why I love them so much, really does start back to when I was a little kid. I mean, when up until like mid high school, I didn't really have any form of income coming in aside from whatever my parents gave me, and my parents being the typical Indian parents, well, kind of, they would they thought more about what's practical, what's responsible, what's rational. And so, obviously, $100 pair of shoes didn't really fit that MO. So I remember when I was in 6th grade, this is like one of the first defining moments of me wanting to get sneakers. That's back in 6th grade. They had released the XIVs, the Jordan XIVs, and there was that whole craze around, oh my God, XIV, gang signs, da 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 da. But they were about to drop the Indiglo pair, which had the like the green indiglo green accents, like on the Jordan's logo as well as on the back tab. And I remember I was going ape shit for those, and I was like, "Mom, Dad, get me those for my graduation." And they're like, "Yeah, sure, we'll get you them." And then they find out the price, and they're like, "Yeah, no, go fuck yourself." So, it was a little bit of a letdown, and obviously I know I was pretty pissed off at the time. But looking back at it, those the mindset of being able to be practical and spend what you earn and everything really at that time was really set into me. So by the time I came into high school and I had already gotten a few more rejections from my parents on some kicks, I finally decided, what, I'm going to go out of my way, get a job, save money, and buy shoes on my own. And so to this day, it's like, granted, it's a little materialistic and maybe not the most practical thing. I'm sure my parents are happy at the fact that I'm able to earn my own money, work hard, and and spend it on things that I want. So to everybody out there that's like, oh, I want sneakers, I want to get this, I want to get that, look to yourself to work hard and save money and earn stuff. Because I mean, I don't think any pair of shoes that I've bought with my own money, I don't think I would appreciate them as much as I do now because I use my hard-earned money to get them. So yeah, anyways, going back to these shoes in general, or more specifically, so how I got my hands on these, and how I first checked them out. Obviously I saw them in Space Jam, and then back in 2000, it was 8th grade. A buddy of mine actually got his hands on a pair, and I was like, oh my god, those things are awesome, and I need to get my money together to get a pair. And unfortunately, resale's a bitch, so I didn't want to spend $400 to $500 on a pair. So come 2009, when I found out that they're re-releasing them, I was all over it. And I was like, all right, I got to make sure I get my hands on these. And luckily, it was like it was like a Friday night at the end of November. Now they actually do the releases for these like on the 23rd of December, but for these ones they did those on Black Friday of 2009. So I remember just sitting on the computer because I knew there's no way in hell I'd get them at a store. So I sat on the computer and just waited and waited and waited. And luckily, I managed to, inch my way through finish line and get a pair while the other sites were crashing and everybody's raging on the forums and flipping out. So I'd say that I was very, very fortunate to get my hands on these, and definitely one of my favorite pairs, and really glad to have them in my life. And to be honest, I haven't worn them in a little while, so I definitely need to give them some love. Maybe I'll throw them on this week, and you'll see a few pics of them later on. But thanks again, guys, for checking this out. This is the first of many. I got plenty of other cool stuff to show you guys and plenty of other stories to share with you. So be sure to keep checking this out. And yeah, talk to you guys soon. Peace.